Here, please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'd like to welcome all of those who are present in attendance for the meeting tonight, as well as those who are joining us online. We move on to item number C, approval of agenda. The commissioners have seen the, he's got public comment after that. So, because we need to approve the agenda. So we got to, anyway, so you've had an opportunity to evaluate the agenda. And if there's nothing that you want to amend, I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Howard. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Brombaugh. Any questions or concerns?
So what exactly, so I'm trying to figure out, so we're approving that this is the agenda.
Right.
So at this point in time, would that mean we would or would not be able to amend the agenda throughout the meeting?
Well, that's exactly what you're saying. I think this came to fruition. You might want to go into detail.
Well, you know, we talked about amending the agenda, and all I did was I didn't change anything that's in the code. All I did was add a piece here for approval of the agenda. It gives council an opportunity to amend the agenda for anything that they want to add at the consent of the board to move forward with an amended agenda. I'm just trying to standardize a procedure.
Okay. And so what happens if halfway through a meeting, something comes up at that point that we then might want to amend the agenda in the middle of the meeting past this point?
Well, I would offer from my perspective that if it's not urgent, if it's an emergency, then I think you amend the agenda. But it seems to me like you're going to know in advance if there's going to be any emergency. Otherwise, if you want to take up a further subject or add something new, I think it's best to deliberate those ideas and say, I want to add this to a further agenda. For example, I think in one of these places going here, perhaps under reports, next council meeting around, I'm going to add further agenda items or future agendas where we can add stuff that we want to talk about or you want to talk about on agendas and make dates for those so that we can be certain to discuss them. What I'm attempting to do is standardize a procedure and then getting council direction to move forward with any particular issue in the future. So emergency, if you have an emergency, you're free to do anything you want in terms of amending the agenda, I believe. But other than that, I think it's an introduction, consensus, and then move forward.
Now, one thing that I might allude to in the process of this, I think the only thing that you can do without the approval agenda is you can call an executive session at any time under the direction of the consensus of commissioners. So for executive purposes, you can, you don't need to amend the agenda or anything. If you have an executive session, as long as we have a consensus of the commissioners to recess into it, you can do that legally. Any other questions?
Yeah, I mean, I see what he's saying, but it feels like maybe a redundant line, because generally we don't amend the agenda unless something comes up that then we would then amend the agenda due to emergency purposes or what have you. And there's nothing, as far as I can tell in the coma reading, you know, we are allowed to amend our agenda however we see fit, even through the meeting if we want to. Not that we would, because we never do unless something just comes up during the meeting which is when we would just amend it anyway. So I see what you're doing. I feel like maybe it's just a little redundant within the agenda to approve the agenda, but just my thoughts.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor. Do you want to call that, Mary?
Yes.
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 Yes. Thank you. Okay, we move on to item number 2, public comment. Alan, Ben, you want to take the podium? Hi, Andrew.
So we wanted to come and talk just briefly about the Topside Trail and some updates, and I've got a little
Cindy,
packet. Yes,
I'm
please.
very sorry. Was there no public comment?
No.
Okay, sorry. I didn't hear if you said. I
Totally fine.
apologize.
You're good. So we, of course, have some little packets there of a couple pieces of information from the Topside Trail Committee and the work that we've been doing. Wanted to create some awareness for the commission and community members about signage that we're going to be working on. And a little bit of background as far as the context of this. You know, this was a great project that came out of the Strategic Doing Project, or process rather, with the Dane G. Hansen Foundation and our Sherman County Community Foundation. We've been really excited over the last couple of years to see this come to fruition. I think this has been a really good cross-section of community members that have come together. And from day one, it's been a very active group, really focused on doing something tangible for the community. I think for a lot of us, our goals were to try to encourage healthy activities, getting out, walking, biking, running your dog, all those kinds of good things on the Topside Trail. And I can certainly say from the college's perspective, it was something we were interested in order to get our students off campus and into the community, as well as bring community members onto campus. And I think it's been exciting for us over the last couple of years, especially this last year, to watch and get feedback from community members, some of whom from the outset may not have been as favorable towards this project, that we've gotten actually good feedback from, that have said, you know, I may not have been for this in the beginning, but have certainly seen the value. We actually had a comment just a few months ago on that. So we think it's been a really good deal and something that has been a real positive aspect for the community. And quite frankly, as we look and wrestle with the challenges of bringing young adults back to the community or to the community, having something to do is a significant piece of that conversation. And this is just one more aspect that we can be able to provide as a community. Andrew is with me as well, who's one of our Topside Trail members, and I think that's all I've got here. Danny as well, who's though officially not a member of our board, is our liaison between the city and our board, and has been an incredible asset for us, especially over the last few meetings, and not to mention the work he's done to help upkeep around the trail. So a couple things there you'll see in your packet that provides, one of which on the front is just an outline basically of the graphic that we're going to use as far as the trail map. We wanted to create something that was easy to read, something navigable, and also incorporated current trails like the Pioneer Trail into the design. And so you'll see on there how everything is kind of labeled out and shown as far as the loops are concerned for the paved trails as well as the nature trail, which runs over by the Tech College. The next page shows you a little bit of an example of what the signage is going to look like. We have 5 signs that are going to go up. We haven't had a chance to work with Commercial Sign with Leon and also with Danny, and we had a chance during those high winds a few days ago to go out and figure out where in the world we were going to put these signs. And we kind of had a general idea, but we wanted to be really cognizant of where those signs actually went into the ground due to utility services in those areas, so that we didn't have any unintended consequences for the city to deal with. So we have 2 signs that are going to go, one on the very northeast corner of the trail, which is where it cuts off over by the college, by the soccer field, or what was the soccer field. And then south of the Elks, where it crosses over the road, will be a second sign there. In the southwest corner of Stever, over near the "You Are Here" sign, will be another one. And then if you go down by the Van Gogh, we'll have one out there by the Rotary benches in that vicinity for visitors as they come to town to be able to see it. And then we, as I said, wanted to incorporate in Pioneer Park. And so we have a sign that will go over there on the northeast corner of the Pioneer Loop as well. We are fortunate, all 5 of the signs we have lined up sponsors for. So we've had community members that have stepped up and covered the cost of each of those. So we're pretty excited about that. We have a little sign on there acknowledging those donations and contributions as well. So again, those are where those locations are going to be, and Leon's begun the work of getting those printed and ready, and so we're very excited, honestly, to get those up and provide some easy navigation on those trails as people are driving around and seeing them. So without going too much further, I wanted to also really, again, thank the past commission for approving this process, the current commission for support, and really getting behind this project. And, our hope is we have some additional trail expansions as time goes on. So we'll continue to seek grant funding to make those things happen. And certainly want to be sure to say our thanks to the city employees who have not only helped upkeep the trails and the grass around those trails, but have also put down cement and pavement for new additions and expansions, as time has gone on. So it's been a really, really great collaborative process, again, between community members and working with the city of Goodland and its employees. So greatly appreciate that, and we'll stand for any questions you may have. Did I miss anything, Andrew? Okay.
I think I would only say that, this has been a great asset, as you have alluded to. One of the things that has been very significant, and that most of this has been done by private contributions as well as a lot of grants. So there's still a little bit left to do, and that I think will come to fruition. Thanks for the leadership, for those who have served on the boards, to the city of Goodland for your contribution in showing a spirit of cooperativeness in moving our community forward. So Ben, thank your board and everybody who's present, as well as for all that you've done.
Thank
Any
you.
further comments?
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks, Ben.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, we move on to item number 4, consent agenda. Item A, January 4th, 2021 commission meeting minutes. Item B, appropriation ordinances 2021-02, 2021-02A, and 2021-P02. I stand for a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented. Have a motion?
I'll move.
Have a motion by Commissioner Thompson. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Howard. Any other questions or concerns? Mary, read the roll.
Ferris,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Brumbaugh,
Yes.
Garcia.
Yes. Thank you. Move on to item number 5 under formal actions. Item A, election of mayor. Alan?
I nominate. You asked Alan.
This is just a continuation from last week when there were 4 members. So we're putting it on here as formal action because we were supposed to do it last week, but we're doing it this week because we have a full commission.
And I would like to nominate Aaron Thompson.
Have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Howard. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Have a second by Commissioner Ferris. Any questions or concerns? Mary, read the roll.
Ferris,
No.
Thompson,
Yes.
Brumbaugh,
No.
Howard,
Yes.
Garcia.
No. Okay, motion has died. So we go back to the drawing board, the same place that we were last week. I will entertain a motion for the election of mayor.
I nominate John Garcia.
Have a motion on the floor.
A second.
I have a second by Commissioner Bromba. Any questions or concerns? Mary, read the roll.
No.
Brumbaugh,
Yes.
Thompson,
No.
Ferris,
Yes.
Garcia.
Yes. Thank you so much. So we move on to item. You got to be sworn in. Go do that first. I was just gonna wait to hear the mayor and vice mayor all at the same time. No, that's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. I, John Garcia,
I, John Garcia,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I support the Constitution of the United States,
that I support the Constitution of the United States,
Constitution of the State of Kansas,
Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and the laws of the City of Goodland, Kansas.
and the laws of the City of Goodland.
I will faithfully
I will faithfully
and to the best of my ability
and to the best of my ability
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
as mayor,
as mayor,
so help me God.
so help me God. Okay. So we move on to item number B, election of vice mayor. I will entertain a motion for vice mayor.
To nominate J.J. Brumble.
I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Have a second by Commissioner Thompson. Any questions or concerns? Mary, read the roll.
Thompson,
Yep.
Howard,
No.
Ferris,
Yes.
Brumbaugh,
Yes.
Garcia.
Yes. Okay, I'll have you swear him in.
I, J.D. Brumbaugh, do solemnly swear that I support the Constitution of the United States,
I support the Constitution of the United States,
Constitution of the State of Kansas,
Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and the laws of the City of Goodland,
and
Kansas.
the laws of the City of Goodland, Kansas.
I will faithfully
I will faithfully,
and to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability,
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
as Vice Mayor,
as Vice Mayor.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Okay, we move on to item number C, medical insurance consulting services. Alan?
This is a continuation from the last meeting where it was a 2-2 vote on this with Commissioner Brumbaugh being absent. So I brought back the same thing. I didn't add the one table. The suggested motion is exactly the same. I think the motion should include, I've said at the expected level, and if you look at the attachment I've given on 12, on 112, I got an update so that I know for certain what our renewal costs are. And it will be $890 if we do maximum funding. It'll be $775 if we do expected funding, and that would be a difference of about $114,000 that I don't, well, it's 105. I don't think is materially going to change the whole medical reserve account. Typically, right now we have a balance in that fund of about $349,000. I think it was related to me that the council had a goal of $500,000, so we're not too far off of that. But again, my recommendation is the same, and the issue is renewing the current medical insurance as is, either at the expected level or the maximum level, and then doing the renewal for March 1st, which is already in progress. It just needs to be submitted. And then for myself and staff to engage in an RFP process that culminates with a greater knowledge and understanding of what's available to us somewhere in 2021, hoping that then we'll be into the budget in 2022 and we can budget for any path that we're taking at that point. So I've included the two recommendations and the suggested motion in the communication form. This is exactly what we had last time at the last meeting.
So does all commissioners understand exactly what's going on? We had some dialogue on the nature of this subject. JD was absent at the time, and I think it's pretty much self-explanatory. So basically you are asking the commission to approve the 2021 budget as presented, with maintaining PIC as a consultant. And so I think if I stated that correctly, that's exactly what you're asking for, right?
Yeah, we're not gonna make any changes for the coming
Sure.
year. What we're gonna do is we're gonna engage in an RFP process. More importantly, I think for me, it's authorizing me to engage in that process as we move forward. I've stated my desire, if possible, to consolidate our services under one umbrella. I don't know if that's possible. I don't know what that looks like financially, but gives us the opportunity to find out what is available to us, and also to have some time monitoring what we're currently engaged in further. So that's kind of my thought.
Well, the main concern here was, of course, the employees, and you know, I think they heard our remarks. You know, at the last meeting, any questions or comments from other commissioners?
I guess just since I was here last time, I've had the opportunity to meet with Alan, and he understands my concerns for the budget and the concerns for the employees and the wages and the constraints and everything I've said for quite a while. And he's asked for more time to. There's a lot he's looking at and bringing together, and looking at rather than just the consultant or just the insurance. There's a whole host of things, and I've respected. He's basically requested more time to go over that, and if it was me, I'd want. He hasn't been here very long, so I'm in favor of giving him that cushion of time to go through his process that he's versed in and he knows about. So I'm okay with that.
So I guess I somewhat, I said in the meeting at the last meeting, January 4th, and there were some concerns, and and I remember alluding that my main concern was to ensure that the employees kept their insurance and the ability to still be able to use Denver and not have any interruptions there. So from this standpoint, if Alan is looking for some more time, I don't have an issue with that, to allow you to get your feet a little bit more stable and, continue to lead the municipality in whichever discretionary way you feel is going to be more beneficial to us. So, any other, Gary, anything that you need to say?
We keep it like it is, and now it's budgeted. Same here.
Aaron?
I'm glad to hear that we're all on board this week. I'll make a motion to renew the current insurance for the following year at the maximum funding.
And I'll second.
Have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Thompson, and I have a second by Commissioner Howard. Any questions or concerns? Going once, twice. Maintaining what? Yes, PIC. Yeah. So I have a motion on the floor, second. Any questions or concerns? Mary, read through.
Ferris,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Brumbaugh,
Yes.
Garcia.
Before I make my decision on this matter, I just want to, again, just tell the employees that, we try to do the best that we can. Our jobs up here is to legislate and to make decisions that are in the best interest of the municipality for everyone in the community. And so I just, wanted to let that be known that, hopefully we can continue to make decisions that will best serve the municipality. And with that being said, my vote is yes. Okay, so we move on to Item number D, KEMA Board of Directors. Alan?
Appointments to the KME Board of Directors, typically my understanding is the city manager has been one of the alternates, and I think it's important to have somebody in electric as an alternate, so these are the three recommended appointees for that board.
So Director number 1, Dustin Bedore, Director 2, Chris Duckson, and alternate Lucas Woloch. Okay. So I will entertain a motion to accept the KMEA Board of Directors has been requested by our city manager. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
You did? Oh, who did? Oh, okay. JD, I have a motion by Commissioner Brombaugh, a second.
Yeah.
By Commissioner Ferris. Any questions or concerns? Mary, read the roll.
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Ferris,
Yes.
Garcia.
Yes. Okay, we move on to item number 6, report city manager. Helen?
Well, I hear little bits from everybody about stuff they'd like to see, so had a couple of street conversations, and so I included in your packet our street sealing plan. And as you can see, there are color-coded years down in the bottom right-hand corner. And the reason it begins with 2009 is because that's about where we are. So you can see that the color corresponds with the plan for any given year of street sealing. Been out, I've toured those streets, as I told you. I think we have 3 separate issues that we're trying to deal with, from replacement to sealing to roads that have just been created by putting down oil and rock that really don't have a base on them. So as we go forward, I hope to deal with those issues. And that's really for your information. If you have any further questions, feel free to come in. Ken is here this evening, so he might be able to answer some. The other one is snow routes. So you can see what we plow that's important and what's first and what's second. We've had some conversations about perhaps getting to the airport in a different timing, and so I think we've agreed on that. So, but anyway, these are the important routes. This is what we do. It's basically emergency and school routes first, and then what we can get to second. And of course, all of that timing depends upon the snow. So that's for your information as well. And if you have any questions, I'm assuming that as we go through the budgeting process, we're going to be talking about a lot more of this stuff. And you're going to be seeing from me little pages like this at every meeting, so that you can, if there's anything that you want to see. For example, in tonight's packet as well, laid on your desk, there is a sheet that shows your revenues at a glance. And that's a report that was asked for previously, that I understand was given to you quarterly, that we're including for the December year end. It has what was budgeted for 19 and what was actually collected, and the same for 20. So you can see 2-year comparisons of what we budgeted for and what we collected actually in those funds. The other thing that was in your packet is the treasurer's financial statement. And that treasurer's financial statement is really year-end balances for those funds. And so you can see where we are. We have about 11.7 million in all funds total, including SURF and MERF. So you can see what has happened to those balances throughout the year, whether they've gone down, they've gone up. Generally in pretty good financial shape, and I'm sure we're going to talk about those some more. The other thing you have in your treasurer's financial statement is our liabilities and obligations, which are the general obligation bonds from 16 and 17, totaling about 5.36 million. So not too bad. So just for your information, if you have any further questions or anything you want to ask this evening, I'll be happy to respond as my knowledge allows.
Any questions for Alan?
Thank you.
Thank you, Alan.
If there's anything you want to see, let me know. As I get more familiar with systems and come across things and ask Mary, we get you what I think is important, because always prepping you for the budget coming up. So want you to understand and know everything that you want that makes you feel comfortable when we present a budget and understand it.
Okay, any other questions for Alan? If not, we move on to Commissioner's report. I'll start over here with Gary.
I have nothing, just this one less day of winter.
Good. JJ?
I really don't have anything. I appreciate all the hard work that the city employees do. Thank you very much.
I don't have anything.
JD?
I appreciate the work on the streets and the tar and the cracks. It makes things a lot smoother, so appreciate that. So, helps out a lot.
Thanks.
Mayor, may I interject one more thing? I
Sure.
forgot. I had it written down, but we had between Friday and this week, we had 4 positive COVID cases. So those staff are quarantining at home, limited quarantine where they can come to work, social distance, wear a mask, and try not to disrupt services too much. So we're just feeling a little bit of effect. So just so you know.
Good. Under the mayor's report, don't have much either. The only thing I'd like to say, Kenton, you know that 4th and Arcade right there, there's that street sign. I drove by there the other day. Well, actually, I got a call, and it's really tipping. And so whenever you get a chance or something for, you know. Oh, good. So you got it taken care of. It's right on the corner of 4th and Arcade, right there by the school. Yeah. All right. That's all I have. If there's no other business for the commission, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Have a motion by Commissioner Brombaugh, second by Commissioner Ferris. All those in favor?
Aye.
Say aye. Thank you very much. See you at the next meeting.